All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for a Tuesday, July. July isn't over yet, so it can't be a past term. Um, the 23rd, 2019, Stuart Traps Love Trade Pro Academy. The team is full yet again. Victorio makes his return, and that's fun stuff. All right, today we're going to cover a few things, some earnings and some debt ceiling updates, and lastly, update on the stock markets and some market vitals for you to kick off the session. First and Coca second uh, and 3 cents versus 62 expected. Revenue market you on the webinar. Uh, Thanks, Vicky. I think it was you. Yeah, it's all good. I just heard like a little echo. Last night I went to bed at 4 a.m. very late or early actually. Early this morning I went to bed and then woke up later this morning. And so the smallest noises capture my attention pretty quickly. All right, so Coca-Cola, 63 cents versus 62 expected. Revenue came out stronger. They raised their operating income 11 to 12%, so a 1% increase, and they raised their outlook as well. So solid earnings from Coca-Cola. I haven't drank a can of Coca-Cola in probably like 4 years, at least. But they do have a lot of other drink products, which is interesting. And so, in fact, when you look at all these juices and other products that you may be consuming, if you look at the label, a lot of it is tied to Coca-Cola. And so that's why their earnings are so big, $10 billion in a quarter. Think about that. UTX reports second quarter at 220 earnings per share versus 204 on stronger revenues, 19.6 versus 19.5. Organic sales channels grew 6% year over year. And they raised their fiscal 2019 expectations as well. So another beat on pre-earning or pre-market earnings. After the bell, we're looking for three companies: Snapchat, Visa, and Chipotle. And those are the big ones. There's a heap ton of them coming out after the bell. And tomorrow we start to pick up with the technology earnings, and Thursday's a big day after the bell. Tomorrow and Thursday, we're getting some big names reporting, tradable opportunities for sure. Pertaining to the debt ceiling, so we know that there was a government shutdown not too long ago, and we're gearing up for another. It was gearing up for another battle in September. However, there's a bipartisan agreement floating around that will suspend the U.S. debt ceiling until 2021. All right, now let me explain this to you. It's an agreement. There's going to probably be no kerfuffle around September. This is good for the market. All right, so it's a bullish type of news helping the rally. It's not the reason the rally is happening, but it's helping the rally. It's put a little bit more fuel in the tank. A lot of people don't understand what this debt ceiling limit is. All they understand is that it's a fight every single time that the discussion comes around it. It's this. It's deciding to raise the debt ceiling, but agreeing with it on both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, which is awesome. All right. However, what are you really doing? It's put in layman's terms or an everyday life application. This debt ceiling limit being raised is like maxing out your credit card and calling your credit card company for an increase. That's what's going on. It can't end well, but the party's going. The punch bowl is strong. Jerome Powell is going to add a little bit more rum in the punch bowl next Wednesday. Party on, everyone. This one's going to end great. So that the consequences of this is that it pushes the budget deficit for next year for the United States automatically over $1 trillion in 1 year. And one of the key points of discussion was that there would be no poison pills included. So basically, no other things tied to this legislation, like funding for a government wall or for Donald Trump's tax returns. None of that stuff. It's just plain vanilla. Let's just get this debt ceiling limit increased until 2021, and let's not make it a contention or a fighting point. All right, that's good news. That's a risk-off scenario. It's a de-escalation. All right, in today's markets, Japan's up 0.1%, Hong Kong's up 0.3%, China's up half, India's down 0.1%. In Europe, London's up 0.6%, Paris up 0.7%, Frankfurt up 1.5%. Out of Europe, Boris Johnson, also short named into Bojo, looks like the runner-up to secede rather, Prime Minister May as the next Prime Minister of the UK. It's not a done deal, but he's a front runner and favorite at this point. And in the United States, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ up 0.3% each. Yesterday, the S&P mini contracts, the futures traded over 1 million, 1.1 in total. So that's not bad for a summer day. And just 33 traded in the big boy contracts in the pit. It's not a lot. But hey, the pit's a relic of the past. Market stats, the week after July expiration are prone to very wild swings in the stock market. Dow is up, however, 11 of the last 16 times. The probability today of a positive expectancy or a positive day for Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ's the same at 42.9%. So it's not even over half. You can't take 30 years of statistics and make that into an actionable daily trading strategy, but it's good to know that it's traditionally and statistically a weaker day based on past price projections and statistics. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. Overnight, we have rallied a little bit higher. And the impressive part about that overnight rally is that it's on pretty decent volume. Last couple weeks, if you haven't caught this trend yet, it's a rally overnight and a sell right off the U.S. Open. And I feel like with the volume coming in, and I feel like even with a lot of new retail traders starting to catch on to that trend, it's over. I don't think today we get a sell-off as deep as we think. I am going to start with a fade off the open, but then look to get long shortly after and ride this thing out. There's some momentum in this market. All right, crude oil is down slightly, but recovering some of its losses. Gold rallies back up to 14.26. Low print overnight was 14.60 before the pit opened at 8:20 this morning. Bitcoin down 5%, just over 5%, back below 10,000, 99.32. 9 a.m. we had a FHFA house price index. We'll review that in the trading room because we didn't have time right before the update. Existing home sales at 10 a.m. Richmond Fed manufacturing at 10 a.m. and at 1 p.m. the results of a 40 billion two-year note auction. Also, the IMF released their global forecasts and updates and projections. We're going to go through that as well in just a moment with the trade room. All right, so what I got for you today? No big news overnight. No market moving events other than debt ceiling. I could just tell you this: why are markets going up? I know a lot of you itch to know that answer. Which, by the way, looking to know why something's happening is a retail type of mentality. Looking to just take advantage of what is happening and making money and finding out after the fact what caused it is the way the pros do it. And I'll tell you this: if you want to know what's pushing markets up, I have one simple answer, and I always use this, and people laugh, but it's the darn truth to a trader at the very least. There's more buyers than sellers. Enjoy your day. You guys have an awesome session. Manage your risk. Trade like a trade pro. Got to turn around, open up a trade room. We're going to kick some ass today. We had great results yesterday. Really proud of what the team's doing. A lot of these guys are coming in our room with live capital and doing well for themselves after a short period of time. So I'm proud of you guys. Let's turn around, swallow the pride, and keep going again. And the ego, rather. We're not a prideful group. We're a humble community. But let's put aside everything yesterday. Today's a new day. Let's tackle it together. Make some money. All right. Trading is a team sport. And if you're not on a team, you're doing it the wrong way. Have a great day. Take care. Manage your risk. Trade like a trade pro. Trade Pro's in the room. Vicky's back, so we'll have some NASDAQ commentary. Marky's been covering NASDAQ, but we have Mr. NASDAQ back himself. I'm going to cover S&P and give you guys an update of IMF updates and give you some levels for some key opportunities for today's session. All right. So, YouTube, unfortunately, you ain't got to go home, but you got to, you know what, out of here. Take care. Have a great day. Join us in the room.